I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Olayinka Oyebile. Journalist Hangout starts right now. Now let's begin the conversation. In service to humanity, good deeds are never forgotten. Neither do selfless acts go unnoticed. In recognition of this, the Enugu State's Governor Peter Umba has inaugurated 4 newly constructed and rehabilitated roads in Abakpa-Nike in Enugu Metropolis and the popular Obinagu Road. Now, during the inauguration, Governor Umba renamed the reconstructed Obinagu Road after the music legend Mike Ejeagha. Now, the road was renamed after Ejeagha for his selfless contributions to the cultural heritage of the state. The governor also stated that the state government will take responsibility for his upkeep in a bid to preserve his legacy. Now, let's share this story by TVC News' Bamidele Ajayi with you.
I can say that Liberty before was nothing to write home about because there were too much traffic. There was too much traffic in and out, and the road itself was really bad. But now we can see the changes here, and the road is now good.
That was a live testimony of Liberty residents of Abakpa who shared their experiences after their roads were reconstructed. Abakpa is one of the densely populated areas in Enugu Metropolis, with about 500,000 residents. It also serves as a commercial hub, which daily records high vehicular traffic.
Yeah, at least I've been doing my business for like 6-7 years now. But since Bitamba started this road, we enjoyed the road. Liberty is now a good road, a peaceful place, thanks to Peter.
As part of effort to fulfill its own bargain of the social contract, the state government was moved by the people's plight to alleviate their sufferings.
It's a symbol of social progress, a beacon of economic growth. Importantly, it will connect people, it will reduce travel time, it will enhance business opportunities. This is one of the testaments to show that your love for your people is what goes on in your vein every day. I remember the day we came for inspection, and then you asked, why is this road like this? Why is it all like that? Why didn't we include it in the other one? Start doing it immediately.
Governor Peter Umba emphasizes the determination of his administration to take the state economy to 7-fold by providing adequate security, modern infrastructure, and creating conducive atmosphere for investment to thrive.
And to the glory of God. Amen. What we are here to witness is fulfillment of our own part of the social contract. Recall further that last year we awarded 71 roads, 71 urban roads, and 10 rural roads. Those 71 roads have since been completed. Those are roads that were rehabilitated, in some cases constructed. I want to assure you that the commitment we made to serve you with every fiber of our being can never be lost on us.
One of the newly rehabilitated roads, Obinagu Street, was christened after the legendary Igbo folklore music icon Michael Ejeagha, whose song Gwo became rave of the moment 31 years after. Governor Umba and his entourage paid homage to the musical icon at his Abakpa residence, where he promised to henceforth take full responsibility of his upkeep, describing him as a living legend.
So as we celebrate this living legend, I am going to also call on you for us to continue to remember him in our prayers for God to grant him longevity in good health.
Amen.
And also that we ensure that while he's alive, he receives all the honor that is due to him.
Other inaugurated roads include Texaco Bus Stop, Ifo Road, and Oyo State. Governor Mba announced that work will soon commence for the dualization at Pennox Junction on the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway all the way to Opi Nsukka Road. Bamidele Ajayi, TVC News Enugu.
All right, beautiful report there. BQ, I look forward to seeing you do your Ngwagwangwa challenge. Still
working on.
You're still working on it.
My footwork.
But before we go into that renaming of the road, Governor Mba of Enugu State doing several human-oriented projects and showing capacity. Don't you agree?
Yes, he's showing himself to be one of the best governors of this era, because I've seen some of the things that he has done. I think he has been underrated, and what he has done in the area of security has largely been underrated. Okay. You need to see the control center in Enugu. There's nowhere in Nigeria where you have that. Something similar to it that I've seen was in the naval headquarters in Abuja, okay, where the Nigerian Navy can monitor our waterways. Okay. You know?
Real time.
Yes. But what he has in that area, what he has put together there is just tremendous.
Second to none.
No state. I've seen states that have such security control centers and all that. Nothing comes close in terms of the size and what they are able to do with it. But, you know, if you cannot make impact as a governor, then you had no business in the first place contesting to be governor. And I think Peter Mba is doing well. He's very determined. He said, look, Enugu State, we don't want sit at home. And they are doing their best, you know, to ensure that the economy continues to rev on in spite of sit at home. But I'm particularly impressed with what he has done for this musician. This musician is very poor. He's not in the class of people like the late Osadebe, the late Oliver De Cope, because Ejiaga was not in the habit of praise-singing people. He would sing songs, folk songs, tell stories, and try to shape people's conduct through his songs. And he's been a fantastic cultural ambassador for the Igbo nation, not just Enugu, where he comes from Ezeagu local government area. Now, for the governor to say, look, we'll take over his upkeep. Because he's been a tremendous cultural ambassador, I think it's a very good thing that has been done. And is the dance challenge that the Brain Jotter, you know, instituted, is already, you know, been embraced all over the world. I've seen white people do it.
Exactly.
And people ask the question, why do they always, why do they chase one another, you know? When someone imitates you as you are doing it, you then chase that person. Say, what's that? But that was Brain Jotter's own way of immortalizing the man, you know. A song that people had forgotten, a song that was released in 1983. You can imagine the power of music. We are seeing the power of music being demonstrated by the way people are now downloading that song. It debuted at number 95 on Spotify globally. So that's to tell you that the song has acquired a life of his own since Brain Jotta decided to do the skit. Do a skit around it, and it really makes me happy that the governor has chosen to honor him in this way. I think that other cultural ambassadors of our country need to be
honored.
You know, I was very proud when in Bordeaux, France, during this leading to the Olympics, Azizat Oshuala was doing the Wowo dance. And it just shows that. Look.
That's why I said I'm looking forward to yours.
Did you see Governor Soludo too?
Yeah, I saw. It.
So
really beautiful.
It's like the thing is spreading like wildfire in Amatan, and I will do it.
Okay.
I promise to do it. If
I'll hold you to that.
We don't Pasuma. We will do Oshupa.
Yeah.
Said Oshupa. I sing a lot of his songs. So I'm going to do Said Oshupa, and after that, I will do Jagas.
We'll get back to that conversation. But Olaika, let me come to you. Honoring our greats while they are alive. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, okay. Let me join CKN for welcoming you
Okay.
on this flagship program.
Thank you very much.
It's nice having you, and you are dining with the elders.
Thank you. Exactly.
And you are doing it well.
Thank you very much.
So TVC, thank you very much. Okay, now back to what we are talking about. Almost 4 decades after serving in what used to be old Anambra State, and I served in Enugu itself, I went back earlier this year, and I didn't recognize that city again. So I think the governor, Peter Mba, is doing very well. And this idea of honoring our culture ambassadors, especially when they are still alive.
Exactly.
That's what I really, really appreciate in all this. The Obinagu Road, which is now named Michael Jaga Road, I know very well. It is a very, very good thing that he has done that. And I also want to ask other governors, look, in all that we do, it should not be only politicians that we name roads after. Okay. We should, in fact, you see, Mike Ejaga, with that song, the song has gone round the world. It's just like, what is this other one now? Buga, I mean, so, and this, for this man, for this to happen at the twilight of his life, I mean, you know when the thing became a rave, and the man, he was moved to tears.
Yes.
That this is something he has done years and years ago. And what that tells you is that when you are good at something, keep doing it, and it will last.
Okay. Anyway, let's move straight to the next topic, because I wanted to ask you on the kind of songs we sing right now.
Oh.
A Nigerian artist even giving us evergreen songs.
Look at even the lead guitar. Look at the sound.
Exactly. You know,
Look at
but
the sound.
What we have now is
Very penetrating sound.
amateurism and I mean,
Though with lyrical emptiness.
lyrical emptiness. So, yeah, really sad. I hope they just put more creativity into this. But anyway, let's move straight to our next story. In the midst of the ongoing fuel scarcity in the country, efforts are ongoing by the federal government to explore opportunities in sustainable and cleaner energy sources. In furtherance of this agenda, the federal government handed over 20 compressed natural gas CNG buses to the Oyo State government. Now, speaking on the development, the Chief Executive Officer and the Program Director of the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, Michael Oluwagbemi, noted that the state is a fitting place to launch the CNG program. Let's share this story with you.
Residents of Oyo State may now begin to enjoy low transportation costs with the distribution of this set of compressed natural gas buses to the state. This set of 20 CNG vehicles is the maiden distribution by the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, aimed at alleviating the burden of high transportation costs amongst residents of Oyo State following the removal of fuel subsidy. They were received on behalf of the state by the management of the Oyo State Pace-Setter Transport Service.
That the cost of transportation will start to moderate, especially on the routes where these buses are running. We expect and we have the confidence in the Pace-Setter Transport Services. So as we start this program in Oyo State, we are taking this program to Lagos State tomorrow. Next week, we'll be taking this program to FCT and taking it to Kwara State. And that's how we're going to be covering all the states of Nigeria in the next 24 months.
The buses are expected to be managed efficiently to enable the federal government repay and acquire more vehicles in the future.
In the first phase of this program, we are getting about over just 500 buses. As these buses are being used and commuters are paying for it, part of that goes into a fund that can then be used to buy more buses. So that way we are also creating jobs, because these buses, as you're seeing them here, were assembled in Nigeria.
Chairman of the Pace-Setter Transport Service commended the initiative and described it as a strategic solution to numerous challenges facing the country.
I'm receiving these buses on behalf of the Governor of Oyo State, His Excellency Engineer Seyi Makinde, who has keyed into this project. And when you are asking for sustainability or the maintenance of all buses, in Oyo State, we are leading and we are the best in what we do. And that is why they are now subscribing to that interest. We have put so many things in place, then I believe that we can sustain it in Oyo State.
As Oyo State embraces this eco-friendly transport solution, residents look forward to enhanced mobility, low emissions, and reduced transport costs. Olaide Oyewole, TVC News, Ibadan.
Start with you, Yinka. The federal government giving 20 CNG buses to Oyo State. Talk to me, what are the impacts? What's the impact of this initiative to Oyo State, not just Oyo State, but to Nigeria as a whole?
Well, ordinarily, we might look at it that is 20 in a state like that is small, but you take a little step, it is from a little step that the giant leap will come. My worry, however, is how many CNG filling stations do we have?
Filling stations?
Yes, the modality for filling the gas.
Yes.
For instance, if it is to travel, I guess now it will be just intra-state now. It won't be inter. Okay, if it is to travel intra-state from one end of the state to the other, if it is fuel and you are running low on fuel, you can easily enter a filling station and get fuel. How many CNG filling stations have been opened? Those are the issues that we also need to talk about. So the deployment is good and it's fine, but we also need to focus on that very well so that we don't want to solve a problem and create another. That's it.
BK, let me come to you here. Don't you think the CNG buses initiative is taking too long to materialize?
Yes. Money was not released on time.
Okay.
After the president announced, made that major announcement that they were going to roll out the CNG buses, CNG tricycles, and all that. They did not release money on time. And then the crash in the value of our currency completely made implementation of the president's directive difficult, because at the time when the president made that announcement, Naira was exchanging at below 900 Naira.
Yes.
You know, because it came early in the administration. But money was not released on time. So the entire complexion has changed. You cannot now talk to vendors that you had begun talking to at the time when the exchange rate was 900 or
Below
so,
1,000.
below 1,000 to
what it is now.
you know, the whole thing changed. So they are now gradually trying to acquire those buses. There are high capacity buses that they've also distributed to some states, even National Assembly.
Yeah.
They distributed high
NMPC
capacity
also
buses.
donated.
You know, so they are trying to also use Nigerian companies.
Okay.
Innocent, for example.
Okay. No.
Innocent is involved because the president said, yes, we want Nigerian companies.
companies.
So I've seen Innocent, I've
Yeah.
even seen some of their own CNG buses. So that is enhancing capacity within our country and trying to solve the problem. Because if you allow Innocent to produce CNG powered buses, for example, you'll be able to save time. Because if you were to bring this from abroad, the cost of clearing
And also,
other things, there will be delay in terms of when you are even going to receive those consignments, and then you also have to clear them.
Okay.
And before you know it, several months gone. So they are trying to see how they can use Nigerian companies, you know, and the same thing, even electric vehicles. There is some progress along that line. God is good.
Okay.
Chidi Ajero, who is a member of the Presidential Advisory Committee on the Economy, he produces electric vehicles as well. You know, he's also an assembler of automobiles in our country.
Some states have
So
started.
some states have begun to even
Ogun
buy from
State,
him.
Ogun
I
State.
saw Delta State. I saw when they went to present electric vehicles to
Yes.
Delta State. Electric vehicles are just similar to
the CNG.
CNG because they are much cheaper to run and they are friendlier to the
Atmosphere.
environment. So this, in my view, is the way to go. Remember what the governor of Borno State did? Bought electric-powered cars. And those cars are being used as taxis in Borno State. And
50 naira.
yes, people pay 50 naira to take a ride because our people are poor. That one is comfortable does not mean it should not remember the poor in our society. And with this, because they will be able to save a lot of money, and transportation will be cheaper because that's where the president has discovered that a lot of the fuel consumption, you know, goes to vehicle interstate transportation and all that. So with the gas, I mean, what is it?
CNG.
Yes, with the CNG powered buses, transportation, commuting itself will be a lot cheaper because I think you'll be able to save a lot of money that you could have spent buying petrol. So I believe that these buses will be cheap sources of commuting for our people.
All right, then. Journalist Hangout continues after this timeout. Don't go anywhere.
Time is power. Our lives are powered by the sun. As the sun rises, so do we. As we trust it to rise and set without any worries interrupting your morning with our hybrid all-in-one inverter, powering our prosperity and happiness. But also nurture what is dear to us, powering trust and support, empowering us to do things that really matters. Start Times Solar, power your life.
Home and quality, wires and cables are. Home and come, light up your life. Home and want to light up your household. Home
GSN cable. Great quality. Now with the new look.
All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I'm still hanging out with BKO, Babajide Kolade Otitoju, and Olayinka Oyegbile. My name is Benga. Now back to the conversation. 2 days after the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, cried out over huge debts, the corporation has released an upward review of the price of petrol to 855 naira per litre at its stations. This significant increase comes amidst ongoing fuel scarcity across the country. Meanwhile, the Federal Executive Council is moving to determine the price of the petrol from the newly operational Dangote refinery. The president of the company, Aliko Dangote, noted that his petroleum products will be made available in fuel stations depending on the readiness of the NNPCL. BKO, NNPCL increasing the price of petrol by 45%, just 2 days after he cried out of financial pressure. Did it come to you as a surprise, or we were expecting this?
Honestly, I knew they would come to that. About 3 months ago, I was in discussion with a member of the House of Reps, and he told me they had been piling pressure on the president, and look, we need to increase the price of petrol and all that. So I was just hoping that we won't get to that. I was just hoping. But these guys at NNPCL had fed Nigerians with a diet of lies over a long period. When it was, when the story broke that they were owing suppliers billions of dollars, they denied it. They said, no, that's not true. The way the NNPC behaves, a time will come when, if an NNPCL official tells you it's night time,
you have to go confirm yourself.
You have to check. Is he really telling me the truth? Because they've made a habit of deceiving their country, and it's really shameful. If you said you are not owing, and you are churning out
profits,
stories about profit, you are owing so much, and you are talking about profits. Why don't you just clear your debt? Or try to even moderate things? I mean, we all know that there are issues here and there. They are carrying a burden for all of us. Because when Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu decided that, no more subsidy, many Nigerians felt, yes, at least the stealing that was going on through subsidy, I remember Peter Obi even calling subsidy organized crime.
Yes.
So all of them wanted subsidy removed. But when you remove subsidy, it comes at a huge cost to the Nigerian people. What some people wanted was a phased removal.
Phase by phase.
Yes, not to do it at once.
Okay.
And I still believe that it was wrong to just take it in one fell swoop. But the big elephant in the room has to do with the value of our currency. Because after the president made that decision known to Nigerians, our currency was around 700, 760.
Yeah, 700, yeah, okay.
Suddenly we went to 900. From 900, the naira is trading against the dollar at about 1,600 and something. It fluctuates. But it's around 1,600 today. Now, that is what pushed the landing cost to such an unbearable level. So the landing cost now, they tell us, is around 1,117. What they've done now is to reduce
the margin,
the costs, they are concerned about the fact that they have to continue to subsidize the payment, although they don't like calling it subsidy, they call it under recovery, or some funny names that came to light during Ibeka Chiku's time. Different names that they called subsidy, you know. Now, at 8:55, the burden of subsidy payment
has reduced.
That's what they are doing incrementally. But if our currency, that's why I keep talking about the CBN governor has to do much better than he's doing. And he knows it in his heart. I do not believe, even with a gun to my neck, I would not agree that our currency is this weak. How did we get to 1,600 naira to $1? It is at the root of all the problems that we are facing. If it was at 900 to $1,
still fair,
the landing cost will not be this high. That's why you have to get your currency to be strong. If we move, for example, God forbid, this currency goes to like 2,000 to the dollar, all of what we are talking about will be thrown out of the window because the landing costs will inevitably go up, and then the cost of keeping the price stable will then be higher than...
Be too much to bet.
Yes. Now, at 8:55, it means that the cost of subsidizing, let's even call it, the cost of under recovery, you know, would naturally be reduced. That is what they are trying to do. Let's see how we can manage. But what do we do about the debt that they are carrying? Suppliers now, if we are not careful, maybe that's why they have to now do a deal with Dangote. Dangote will produce 25 million liters a day of PMS. I believe that 25 million liters will go a long way. If you then have to import, it has to, I mean, you just import minimally.
Okay.
25 million liters a day is significant. I do not even believe that we can consume more than 33 million liters a day. A lot of what we hear, yes, because even at the peak of our prosperity, during the Jonathan years, for example, when the currency was much stronger, we were not consuming more than 30 million liters.
Well, now that the currency is not...
So now, are we being told that more people are buying cars now than that time? Where have they got the money? Who went to the licensing office to discover that we've bought more cars this time than that time? You know?
All right, let me come to you.
And it's not as if there was no smuggling that time, because we also hear that, there's a lot of smuggling going on. We are subsidizing countries around us, our petrol. I know that even the Ghanaians, it's true that the Ghanaians they are taking small goods petrol from Nigeria. I know that Benin Republic, all of them, they rely on us. And our currency is strong, weaker. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot that Mr. Cardoso can do. Why, for example, should our currency be weaker than the currencies of our neighbors? We're in trouble. If it remains like that, we're in trouble, because the grains that you produce will be mobbed up by these people. They have the money. Yeah. The petrol that you produce, there is a great incentive for Nigerians to even take it to because they will earn more money. It was happening. We were arresting vehicles crossing from Nigeria to Niger and to Chad. We had to deploy, AFCC deploy security operatives to be stopping them because it was inducing hunger in our country, and our neighbors were simply happy to buy those grains because their currency is stronger
than ours.
So whatever we do, if Dangote begins to supply PMS we achieve some stability and the currency slides, it will throw all our strategy, all our tactics out of the window. That is the point that those who manage our currency, that's the point that they have to realize. 1,600 plus to the dollar in my lifetime. I never imagined that it could happen. Honestly.
I never imagined that the Naira would be weaker than that of Benin. but
we used to mock them that you are a millionaire in Sefa and a Kobonia in Naira.
Dangote is saying that the product can be made available within 24 hours until, but what does this mean? Is it in the area of price? Is it in the area of other agreements?
Well, you see, the truth of the matter is that the oil industry is as opaque as they come. Nobody is very clear about the issue. Even those who are in the industry, they are not telling us the truth. We don't know what exactly they are talking about. Now, as of the time we came into the studio, if you checked 20 news websites, the price they give that NNPC has said is different. Some will say 855, some 897, 8 this, 8 that, and you are not sure. Now, what I see there, which is very, very important, the issue of fuel price is an issue of security. There is no way, whether the PAB or whatever says government cannot dictate to NNPCL or not, the NNPCL cannot be the sole determinant of the price it will sell petrol. Because whatever projections you make, immediately the price of fuel goes up, every other thing will go up. Now, last week, the FCPC told traders, it gave them 1 month notice that they should bring down prices of goods. How does the FCPC want to monitor that now? Because the issue is how much is the price of fuel? I mean, this is not to justify the high prices, but the part of it is that a man that bought tubers of yam or whatever he's selling and puts it in a vehicle, and the vehicle is charging him
ludicrous amount for transport costs.
Definitely, we put it on the cost of his wares. So,
the cost of clearing goods.
Exactly. So, where do you now come in to say that you cannot sell your product at this? Look, we are, as they say, we are trying to apply ringworm medicine to leprosy. That is what is happening. The issue of our Naira value, the issue of petrol price, all these things we have to come into it. The government should not wash his hand off and say that. Today now, the Minister of State for Petroleum Oil, said he doesn't know anything about the increment.
Yeah, he said he washed his hands.
So now, who do we blame now?
Let me be as fair as possible.
Okay.
Minister. There was a story that broke last night.
Okay.
That the minister has directed the NNPCL to increase petrol price to
1,000.
Okay.
Okay, so the Naira is the 1,000.
Yes. It didn't give any such directive.
Well,
it was in the night that story broke. And you know, we lie. Sometimes, even you, they will tell you that Jide said that. You can't be happy. So the man had to defend himself. That's, in any case, the GMD of NNPC does not need his consent to increase price.
Saying looking at the PIA?
Yes.
Well,
there are some decisions.
But this issue is beyond that. It's an issue of security.
The president, for example, has to agree that, okay, go ahead and do this. And I'm sure that they got his buy-in. They cannot do it alone. Nigeria, as well as the PIA, will still exert so much influence on NNPCL. We can't deny that. But I'm saying that the GMD, I don't know, that's Melek,
Yes.
does not need
ministers'
approval to raise prices. No, it does not need his approval. If he wants that to happen, he will talk to the president and it gets done.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
But it's the PIA. We can,
Yes,
they will call it PIA or well.
There are some Nigerians who think that Komolafe and Farouk, who are regulators in the
upstream and downstream.
Yes. There are some Nigerians who think that they are under NNPC. Even in the National Assembly. I had a minister too who did not even know that the person that Farouk was not under Melek.
No longer.
They are regulators. They are doing their own job. They are working with Dangote, for example. There are staff of NMDPRA inside the refinery. They run shifts of 5s.
Okay.
So they are doing their own regulatory. They are the ones who gave them provisional license. You can start producing diesel and aviation kerosene.
Okay.
That is the as they are going on with the work in the refinery, the regulators are also
doing their own
giving when they think it's the right time to do PMS, they will give their approval. So that's the They are working independent of NNPC.
Talk about separation of
Let's see how it goes.
Anyway, all right, let's move straight to our final story, talking about, in the words of American political theorist and author James Carville, loyalty is the currency that buys power in politics. Without it, there will be chaos. Amidst its internal crisis, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is taking decisive steps towards addressing the situation. The party summoned former governor of Rivers State and current minister of the Federal Capital Territory FCT, Nyesom Wike, as well as other party chieftains accused of anti-party activities to appear before the Ikimi-led PDP Disciplinary Committee. The position of the party is that members must show allegiance to the PDP at all levels. Now, BKO, a few weeks ago, the PDP constituted a disciplinary committee and also a reconciliatory committee. But in your opinion, should the FCT minister be sent to either the reconciliatory committee or the disciplinary committee? Looking at this.
You will be sent to both.
It should be sent to both?
Yes. Yes.
Why is that?
Because the problem in Rivers State requires that you discipline as well as reconcile. Where is necessary, you can upbraid and then issue a warning. You don't have to say, okay, you are expelling or you are suspending, because it could worsen things. But in any group, people must be made to realize that they cannot be bigger than the entity. Yeah, you can't be bigger than the party, no matter what to think of yourself. You can't be bigger than the party. And a party must have mechanism for getting its members to realize that. The disciplinary committee of every party must be active. Okay. The reconciliation committee of any party must be active. That is how you can keep everybody within the loop. Okay. But what we always have is party leadership itself is biased. So true reconciliation is never achieved. That's what happens. And crises usually fester in the months towards before an election. Yeah. people come back from primaries feeling cheated, and some of them feel that the best thing is to leave the party. So if you don't want that to happen, you must put your reconciliation mechanism in place to ensure that once you sense that there is crisis, you send people, to go and sit with them and talk to them.
Okay.
I've seen APC do that in one or two states, and they agreed to work together. They agreed to put the past behind them. But there are still many states where the APC have crisis. Some of such crises have been there for years, So in the case of the PDP, Wike, for example, has to be spoken to in terms of the way he talks, in terms of the threats that he issues. For example, you can't be threatening governors that you put fire in. How many states can you go and put fire? Let's even face it. How many states? You are an individual. You say, okay, you put fire in Bauchi.
You put fire.
You want to put fire in Oyo. You want to go from there, put fire in Taraba. You are going to get your fingers burnt at the end of the day. That is my problem with him. He doesn't know when he needs to stop. He doesn't know when to apply the brakes. Even if you feel bad, must you say everything that comes to your mouth? This is the thing. A politician has to have a high level of moderation. Moderate the things you say. Lao Tzu even talked about it, that let the enemy not know what you are planning.
Yeah.
But you want the enemy to know what you are planning. Let them even know that this is what I plan to do. But you are going to, in the street language, you gawk yourself. I don't know where Nigerians got that. You eventually gawk yourself. You go cast yourself in the final analysis. If you just issuing threats, these are your people. You have to. So I believe that when the committee, Tommy Ikimi committee talks to him, they are going to treat him like somebody that they value. Because when others left the party, he remained. He continued to finance the party. He showed loyalty, to the party. But then at this point, they will need to talk to him and say, see, some of your actions are not helping us. Okay. We value you as an individual, but you need to stop these utterances. This is our decision. That you should stop this kind of utterances, fighting words, So I believe that the party can achieve its aim. Okay. It's not until they dismiss someone from the party before peace can be guaranteed. You can reconcile people. So they will make their moves. And I also hope that someone like Fubara will make himself available so that they can talk to him. Because we are hearing that Fubara wants to go and join the APP.
Yes.
So I don't think they will open their eyes and let that happen. So they also have to reach out to him.
All right. Yinka, I'm going to ask you a double question because our time is fast.
Yes.
How did the PDP get to this level? Do you think it was self-inflicted? And also, let's coin it with opposition. Since the inception of this administration, how would you assess opposition parties?
In all honesty, there's no opposition, as far as I can see.
Why do you say so?
The opposition parties have, between themselves or among themselves, fought themselves to the state of helplessness. Is it LP that has two or so chairmen and they are fighting in one state and fight? PDP, the same thing.
Has two chairmen.
Exactly. So, in fact, what I see here is Wike has overrated himself, and what he needs is people to massage his ego, and that is what he is looking for. Because you cannot, in fact, what he said is a thing that if it were to be any other person should be questioned. How can you say that you are going to put fire in other states. That's an issue of security, and is already threatening the state of the nation. But be that as it may,
it's going to scatter
whatever.
Physical fire.
No, of course, I know.
It's going to create crisis.
It's going to create crisis. The crisis will not, when you create crisis in states, it literally set fire, meaning that it's going to create crisis. And when you create crisis, the country
is an empty threat. Is he really capable of doing such?
Whether he's capable or not.
Maybe in 1 or 2 states.
Yes. He doesn't have that power.
Up against him, for example.
Exactly. How does he want to?
Sitting governors.
That is why I'm saying that he has overrated himself. And they need
maybe it's just to threaten them so that they will.
And they need to come down to let him know that look, we will massage your ego and all that, but
you are not bigger than the
also
party.
Exactly. No man can be bigger than the party.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
They need to cut him to size.
Beautiful conversation, big time. Beautiful conversation. I want to thank BKO. Thank you so much for having this conversation, and also Olayinka Oyebile. Thank you so much for having this conversation. And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. Remember, you can watch the repeat of the broadcast of this episode tonight at 11, and also join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga Oreshegun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.